There's a certain kind of person who walks into a room and immediately feels everything. Not just the energy of the space, the unspoken tension between two people, the fake smile on someone's face, the way silence carries more weight than words alone. They notice things others never will, and they carry the weight of all of it, quietly, invisibly. This isn't anxiety. It isn't overthinking. Psychologists call it hyperawareness, and it changes everything about how a person lives. You've probably met someone like this, or maybe you are someone like this. You can feel the shift in a room before anyone speaks. You know when a friend is hurting, even when they insist they're fine. You leave conversations carrying unspoken things that no one else seemed to notice. And afterward, you turn everything over in your mind, not obsessively, carefully, like someone looking for something they're not sure they lost. These people don't just hear what is said, they listen to what isn't. They watch the pause before the answer, the eyes that say something different than the mouth, the energy that lingers after someone pretends to be okay. Most of the world walks through life reading the headlines. These people are reading between every line. And nobody warned them how heavy that would become. Psychologists have noticed a specific pattern in people who experience the world this way. It connects to a trait called high sensitivity, a concept studied extensively by psychologist Elaine Aron. Research suggests roughly 15 to 20% of people carry this trait. But what we're talking about goes even deeper than sensitivity alone. It is a convergence of emotional intelligence, pattern recognition, and an almost involuntary attunement to other human beings. From a psychological perspective, the brain of a highly aware person processes incoming information at a different depth than most. Where others skim, they absorb. Where others glance, they study. Neuroscience research points to heightened activity in the brain's mirror neuron system, the neural architecture responsible for empathy and emotional mirroring. What this means practically is that when someone near them is suffering, they don't simply observe it. They experience a genuine internal echo of it. This is not a flaw in their wiring. It is a feature, a sophisticated one. The kind of deep processing that has allowed humans to survive, to bond, to understand one another across thousands of years. But sophistication, as it turns out, has a cost. Imagine moving through life with the volume permanently turned up. Not the volume of noise, the volume of meaning. Every interaction has texture. Every silence has a shape. Walking into a new environment triggers an immediate, unconscious scan. Is this safe? What is everyone feeling? Who needs something they haven't asked for yet? Inside the mind of a highly aware person, there is a quiet intelligence always running in the background. It never fully powers down. After conversations end, the processing continues. After the room empties, the residue of everyone else's emotions still lingers. What makes this particularly isolating is that the experience is invisible from the outside. They look like everyone else. They laugh at the right moments. They show up. They listen. But internally, they are holding an enormous amount, most of which they never asked to carry, and never quite know how to put down. And when they try to describe the weight of existing this way, the response is often the same. You're too sensitive. You think too much. You need to stop letting things affect you so deeply. But they aren't thinking too much. They are perceiving accurately. The world they describe is real. Most people simply aren't looking closely enough to see it. Here is something that changes how you understand all of this. This level of awareness rarely develops in a vacuum. For many people, it was learned. Specifically, it was learned in childhood, in environments where reading the room wasn't curiosity, it was necessity. A child growing up in a home where moods were unpredictable, where love felt conditional, where tension could erupt without warning, that child learns to notice everything. The tone in a parent's voice, the weight of footsteps, the specific kind of silence that means something's about to go wrong. The child becomes fluent in the unspoken language of other people's emotional states, not because they chose to, because survival required it. Psychologists recognize this as a form of adaptive hypervigilance, a deeply intelligent response to an environment that demanded constant attentiveness. The scanning that once kept them safe becomes a permanent setting, and long after the original threat is gone, the nervous system keeps watching. It was never a weakness, it was armor. But armor, worn too long, begins to feel like skin. And here is the paradox that sits at the center of all of this. The same awareness that allows these people to understand others with extraordinary depth is the very thing that leaves them feeling most misunderstood. They are fluent in emotional complexity. They can walk into someone's inner world with almost startling precision. They sense what people need before those people can articulate it. They offer the kind of presence that makes others feel genuinely seen and held. But who does that for them? Because while they are busy reading everyone else, almost no one reads them back. The empathy flows outward with ease and rarely returns at the same depth. They give their full attention, their emotional labor, their invisible care, and still somehow move through relationships feeling like a ghost. The strange irony is this: the people most capable of truly knowing another human being are often the ones who live their entire lives feeling unknown. That is not poetic. That is a real and quiet grief. This grief shapes entire patterns of living. Because they absorb so much, highly aware people are vulnerable to something psychologists call emotional contagion, the unconscious internalization of others' emotional states. By midday, they may be carrying anxiety that belongs to a colleague, sadness borrowed from a stranger on a train, tension absorbed from a conversation that technically had nothing to do with them. The exhaustion this creates is real, but hard to name. They slept well, they ate, they did nothing extraordinary, and yet something in them is depleted in a way that ordinary rest doesn't fully repair. Their boundaries become complicated. Saying no feels like a moral failure because they always understand the other person's perspective with too much clarity. The empathy that makes them generous also makes them easy to drain. Then there is something else, something quieter, a hunger for depth that most surface-level interaction never satisfies. They crave conversations that go somewhere real, connections that don't require performance, relationships where the mask can come down and nothing is broken by it. In a world that moves fast and rewards the superficial, this hunger can feel like a form of loneliness, all its own. Have you ever sat in a room full of people and still felt completely unreachable? Have you ever known something was wrong in a relationship, in a room, in yourself, before a single piece of evidence confirmed it? Have you ever wished you could just stop? Stop noticing, stop feeling, stop absorbing everything, even for one afternoon. Maybe you have spent years thinking there was something wrong with you for feeling the world this deeply. Maybe you were told over and over that your perception was the problem. It wasn't. What matters most to understand is that awareness is not a condition to be corrected. It is not excessive sensitivity to be managed or quieted or medicated into ordinary range. It is a genuine and valid way of being human, one that holds extraordinary value and asks a genuine price in return. The work isn't to become less aware. The work is to become more intentional about where that awareness goes. To recognize that noticing something does not mean owning it. To understand that feeling someone else's pain is not the same as being responsible for it. To learn, slowly, with great patience, the difference between empathy and absorption, between caring deeply and dissolving entirely. Your awareness is a language, one of the most sophisticated emotional languages a person can speak. And the goal is not to stop speaking it. The goal is to find people and spaces worthy of it. You are allowed to be selective. You are allowed to protect your attention. You are allowed to exist without offering your full depth to everyone who crosses your path. The people who feel the world most deeply are often the ones who have spent the longest time being told they feel it wrong. They moved quietly through life, seeing what others missed, holding what others couldn't name, carrying a richness of inner experience that the world rarely slows down long enough to honor. But here is what's true. The depth you carry is not too much. It was never too much. It is, in fact, the exact kind of understanding this world quietly depends on, even when it doesn't know how to say so. You were not built to feel less. You were built to feel further, and that has always been enough. If this reached something in you that you've never quite had words for, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. If that's the kind of content you've been looking for, subscribe and leave a comment below. Tell me, did this describe someone you know or someone you've been? I read every single one.